Well, hello and welcome back to math class. If you notice, I'm moving on to lesson 6 today. We are still working with what we would call equivalent ratios, and we are going to still work with some tape diagrams. However, today's lesson is going to make something what I call double tapes. So if you have highlighters, you might want to grab them. If not, you can follow along as I do this. We aren't going to finish the entire lesson today, but I do want you to be paying attention. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at exercise number 1. It says the Business Direct Hotel caters to people who travel for different types of business trips. On Saturday night, there is not a lot of business travel. So the ratio of the number of occupied rooms to the number of unoccupied rooms is 2 to 5. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right there and get my first color of highlighter so I can make sure I understand. We're talking about Saturday. And we're talking about occupied rooms to unoccupied rooms is 2 to 5. An occupied room means someone is staying that night in that room. Unoccupied means that that room is empty. No one is staying. Okay, so this is Saturday. Let's continue reading. However, on Sunday night, the ratio of the number of occupied rooms to the number of unoccupied rooms is 6 to 1 due to the number of business people attending a large conference in the area. So I have a different color. Sunday, the ratio changes. I'm still doing occupied to unoccupied, but this time it is 6 to 1. Oh, a lot more people staying. If the Business Direct Hotel has 432 occupied rooms on Sunday, Sunday was my pink color, so I'm going to continue saying that 432 occupied rooms goes with Sunday. How many unoccupied rooms does it have on Saturday? Oh boy. All right, so you notice I have some separate colors to help make this a little bit easier. I'm looking at 2 different days, and so with our writing utensil, we're going to put Saturday on this side, and we're going to put Sunday on this side. Okay, first thing that we need to do. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is let's look at Saturday. Let's make our tapes for Saturday. Saturday we have occupied rooms and unoccupied rooms. Yep, that's good. Remember, occupied rooms are the rooms that are being used, and unoccupied rooms. Okay, occupied rooms. Let's look for Saturday. Occupied rooms is 2. Saturday. Unoccupied rooms is 5. Okay, so we have taken care of Saturday. Saturday, let's make a line here. Maybe we can kind of separate our 2 tapes. Saturday, 2 occupied rooms and unoccupied 5. Now we're going to do the same thing for Sunday. So let's go over here and do Sunday. Same labels. Occupied rooms and unoccupied rooms. Can you go ahead and make your tapes for me? Let's look at Sunday. Occupied rooms is 6. And unoccupied is 1. Big difference. Big difference. Look at that. Okay. Now we do have another number, another integer in our story, and it says that there are 432 occupied rooms on Sunday. So we go over here to Sunday. Occupied rooms only equals 432. Now with this one number, we are going to be able to solve all of these rooms. So if you notice, we have 432, and we need to divide it into this box. If you have a calculator, now's the time to take out your calculator or open up a calculator at the top of your Chromebook on another spot. Okay, so hopefully you've opened up your your calculator somewhere, and we're going to take this 432 and we're going to divide it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. So let's see here. 432 divided into 6 boxes, and we have the answer 72. So we're going to go ahead and put 72 in all of the boxes. Okay, now before we do any more work, we want to go back and look at the question one more time to make sure we know what we're looking for. If the Business Direct Hotel has 432 occupied rooms on Sunday night, here's my question. How many unoccupied rooms does it have on Saturday? So I need to go to the Saturday unoccupied, which is right down here, and that's what my question is asking. So now I have to find out this answer. 72, 72, 72, 72. That's 5 times. My answer is 360, and so I would write for my answer 360 rooms. And we're finished. We don't need to find the totals for these because the question is only asking for Saturday night. Okay, let's go ahead and move down to problem number 2. Remember, if you have 2 colors of highlighters, it's going to be helpful. Let's see what number 2 says. Peter is trying to work out by completing sit-ups and push-ups in order to gain muscle mass. Originally, Peter was completing 5 sit-ups for every 3 push-ups, but then he injured his shoulder. After the injury, Peter completed the same amount of repetitions as he did before his injury, but completed 7 sit-ups for every 1 push-up. During a training session after his injury, Peter completed 8 push-ups. How many push-ups was Peter completing before his injury? So if I think back to my story, and I'm going to have to come up with 2 sections, like we have Saturday and Sunday. There's no Saturday and Sunday here, but I think if I was listening to the story, we're talking about Peter who was doing some exercise before his injury and then after his injury. So I'm going to go ahead and label mine before injury, and then over here I'm going to do after injury. Okay, then I'm going to find my highlighters. It says, let's reread, Peter is trying to work out by completing sit-ups and push-ups in order to gain muscle mass. Originally, that's before his injury. Here we go. Originally, Peter was completing 5 sit-ups for every 3 push-ups, but then he injured his shoulder. After the injury, here's our after. After Peter completed the same amount of repetitions as he did before, it says he completed 7 sit-ups for every 1 push-up. All right, so now we have our 2 different areas, and we're going to make our tapes. So the things we're talking about are sit-ups and push-ups. Sit-ups, push-ups. So before his injury, 5 sit-ups, 3 push-ups. So we're going to have 5 sit-ups, 3 push-ups. Okay, so here's our before. After his injury, we have something different. After his injury, 7 sit-ups for every 1 push-up. So this time we're going to do 7 for the sit-ups. And 1 for the push-up. Okay, I'm going to separate my 2 tapes. All right, now let's go back and let's check what our problem says. During a training session after his injury, Peter, during a training session after, so this is my after, here's my after. Peter completed 7 push-ups. I'm sorry, 8 push-ups. So we're going to have to go to the after, find the push-ups, and that stands for 8. Well, I'm going to take 8 and divide it only into one box. That's kind of easy. So that means I get to put 8. So I would like for you to go ahead and put 8 in all of the boxes. Okay, now instead of solving all of these, let's look at the question. How many push-ups was Peter completing before his injury? So we want to look at the before. We want to look at how many push-ups. And so we're going to solve this problem right here. 8 plus 8 plus 8. Or some of us know we're going to take 8 times 3. Hopefully you know that answer. And we're going to put here 24 push-ups. Now we could obviously find out the answer for the sit-ups before the injury and the answer for the sit-ups after the injury, but we always want to look back at the question and answer what is being asked of us. Okay, we're going to go ahead and practice a couple more problems. If you would go ahead and turn the page, please. Okay, let's look at problem number 3. Tom and Rob are brothers who like to make bets about the outcomes of different contests between them. Before the last bet, the ratio of the amount of Tom's money to the amount of Rob's money was 4-7. Rob lost the latest competition, and now the ratio of the amount of Tom's money to the amount of Rob's money is 8-3. If Rob had $280 before the last competition, how much does Rob have now that he lost the competition? All right, well, it looks like we're talking about Tom and Rob before and after a competition. So I'm going to entitle this Before Competition. And we'll just put comp like this. And then we'll put on this side after the competition. And we'll see who has more money. All right, so let's get our color of highlighters out and separate our two things. It says here before the last bet, so we're going to look at here the before. The before the last bet, the ratio of the amount of Tom's money to the amount of Rob's money was 4-7. Then I'm going to take my next highlighter and find that Rob lost the latest competition. And now, so now here's our new one. This is our new ratio. Now Tom's money to Rob's money is 8-3. So we're going to go ahead and put our labels. I'm going to put Tom first and Rob second. Before the competition, we have Tom, Rob, 4-7. So we'll put 4 tapes for Tom. And we'll put 7 for Rob. Okay. After the competition, remember, we have the same 2 people. The ratio changed, remember, 8-3. So Tom's going to have a lot more tapes here. We're going to make 8 here. And Rob only gets 3. Okay, so we have before competition, after competition. We obviously need another integer in order to solve these. So let's go back and look here at the last sentence. The last sentence says, if Rob had $280 before the last competition, before. So that means we're looking at the before. How much does Rob have now that he lost the bet? So over here, the before is 280, because it says Rob has 280 before. So we're going to find Rob right here. We're going to say that he equals $280. Now we have to take that 280 and we have to divide it into these boxes. There are 7 boxes. We get the answer 40. And if you remember, we're going to put 40 in all of the boxes. All right, so now we're going to go back and we're going to look at what the question is actually asking. How much does Rob have now that he lost the bet? So this was before the bet, this was after. How much does he have now? So we have 40 plus 40 plus 40. Most of us can do that in our head. 120. So Rob has $120. Okay, we're going to do, I'm going to start you off on problem number 4, and then I'm going to ask you guys to actually complete it for your homework. Problem number 4 says a sporting goods store ordered new bikes and scooters. For every 3 bikes ordered, 4 scooters were ordered. However, bikes were way more popular than scooters, so the store changed its next order. The new ratio of the number of bikes ordered to the number of scooters ordered was 5-2. If the same amount of sporting equipment was ordered in both orders and 64 scooters were ordered originally, how many bikes were ordered as part of the new order? So let me go ahead and get you started on this. All right, so I separated this into the old order that the sporting goods store did, and then the new order. The 2 areas we're looking at ordering bikes and scooters. Okay, so remember for our old order, right over here, remember the original order was 3 bikes to 4 scooters. It says, however, bikes were way more popular, so if you notice the next order, so the next order or the new ratio was bikes to scooters 5-2. Okay, so I've given you the tape for over here. I've given you the tape for over here. Then the other number you have is 64. Look carefully. It says here, if the same amount of sporting equipment was ordered in both orders and 64 scooters were ordered originally. Originally means at the beginning. So I'm going to put that in yellow. You should be able to solve the question, how many bikes were ordered as part of the new order? So this is the answer I want to know. Okay, so go ahead and finish this problem in your math book, and we will correct it or look at it again tomorrow.